Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. Welcome to this series of the Great Vision of Vedanta. So we are going to see something very different this time. On this channel, we have not been studying any Upanishads so far. We are doing the Shravana Sadhana Yajna of Bhagavad Gita, one chapter a month, and last month was the completion of the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And we have been doing some interesting texts, but this is the first time we are taking up an Upanishad in this series of the Great Vision of Vedanta on Chinmaya Brinda channel. Upanishads are very rare. That is the end portion of the Vedas. It comes as it is called Vedanta. Vedanta means Vedasya Antaha, end of knowledge. Knowledge or thought ends in something. Where is it? It ends in the essence of that thought. So, Upanishad has got three parts to it. Upa is Samipe. Ni is Nishchayena. Nitaram. Nishchayena. Really, certainly, nearby. Shad, to sit. Sit closely to something. Sit closely to what? Sit closely to your own self. That is the Upanishad. And so everything in the Upanishad, it directly talks about the self, and it is not that other texts are beating around the bush. Other texts are prakarana means going round and round a topic, bringing the mind to the closest point where it becomes a good receptacle to receive that highest teaching of the Upanishad. So that is the other text, but the Upanishad is, it directly goes to the point. You are Brahman. That Brahman you are. That consciousness is Brahman, and this self, this I, is called Brahman. These are the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads, or the great statements. What are the Mahavakyas? Mahavakyas are those that unite. Mahavakya means great sentence. What is the difference between a sentence and a great sentence? A sentence is, you say God is great, you are great, and the world is great. But a Mahavakya is that God which is manifest as this world is you, which is great. And when it ends like that, when it connects everything and points out to you, the self, as the supreme one or the truth, then that becomes an Upanishad. Skandopanishad, as the name suggests, it is about Subrahmanya Swami, Skanda, who is a student. Even though it is not very clearly mentioned in the Upanishad in that way, usually the teacher, who's a teacher, who's a student will be mentioned. But in this Upanishad, it is not actually said, but the conversation is very, very obvious. Skanda speaks to Mahadeva. Mahadeva is the guru here, and Skanda, his son, is the disciple. Skandopanishad belongs to the book that I am following is by Swamini Sharada Priyananda of Chinmaya Mission from Chinmaya, Andhra Pradesh. She has written a commentary on a few Upanishads, and the book is published by Chinmaya Mission. What is this place? Chinmaya Publications Trust, Bhimavaram. The copy should be available. You have to check with them or any Chinmaya Mission Center, Chinmaya Aranyam Publications Trust. It's a thin book. It's a very, very beautiful book. There are only 15 verses in this Upanishad. The Skandopanishad comes from the it's part of the 108 Upanishads. And it's a 51st Upanishad. So who gives these categories? Is it random that you just call an Upanishad the 51st Upanishad and it is there among the 108 Upanishads? Who is the authority for all this? There is an Upanishad called Muktika Upanishad. Muktika Upanishad lists all the different Upanishads, and Muktika Upanishad has been told by none other than Sri Rama to his very devoted servant and minister Hanumanji, Anjaneya, and in which he says, Mandukyameva alam mumukshunam vimuktaye, for the sake of mumukshus, or the one who desire liberation, Mandukya Upanishad is enough. But he goes on to list it is a list of all the Upanishads, all the 108 Upanishads, of which Skandopanishad takes the 51st place. This Upanishad, always we are fighting. We read the Puranas. In one Purana, Shiva will be spoken as very great. In one Purana, Vishnu will be said, Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnustvam, Rudrastvam, Indrastvam, Agnistvam, Vayustvam, Suryastvam, Chandramasvam, Bhutbhuvasvarom. All the different Puranas will have different gods that are projected as great. Who is really great? Is Shiva great or is Vishnu great? Are Shiva and Vishnu two different people or are they one? This Upanishad settles that doubt in our mind, and it contains a famous verse to show the oneness between Shiva and Vishnu. We will let it be a surprise when we see that verse. We can see it in the end. This Upanishad, the theme of this Upanishad is stressing the oneness of Shiva and Vishnu. And it is also, it is Advaitic in its content. And though the teacher and the taught, the names are not mentioned here, it is the student is talking to his guru and teacher Mahadeva. And since the Upanishad is also called Skandopanishad, we can easily assume that it is Subrahmanya who is the student and Mahadeva, his own father, is the guru. So this we begin with this Upanishad's first verse. It's a very common verse that is there in many Upanishads. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we begin here. The student and the teacher, it is a common prayer. Om Saha Now Avatu. May both of us be protected. Saha Now Bhunaktu. May we enjoy together. May we enjoy whatever we are going to do. Let us asking questions and getting the replies on the Upanishad. May we enjoy together. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. May we together exert our energy and cultivate our power and strength. Tejasvi na adhitam astu. May our study, what we are engaging in now, may that is our refers to Skanda and Mahadeva, and this hour can also refer to all of us together. Tejasvi na avadhitam astu. Now, may we, whatever we are studying, may it shine as brilliance in us. May it be brilliant. Ma vidvishavahaihi. Whenever there is any kind of one person is having the knowledge and the other person is receiving it, there'll always be a sense of lack within and a sense of admiration for the person who is giving that knowledge. And the one may wonder, I don't know, I don't have, and the other person has so much of knowledge. I am so small, he's so great. And that feeling can also turn into jealousy. That feeling can also turn into anxiety, it can turn into anger, it can turn into arrogance and disturb uh, the whole mental peace of the atmosphere. So the prayer is here, maybe not fight with each other, maybe not despise each other, maybe not be jealous of each other. It can be possible that the student is jealous of the teacher. Sometimes it can be possible that the teacher is also jealous of the student. Because, as in the case of Yajnavalkya, Yogeshwara Yajnavalkya, this Upanishad comes in the, what is this called? In Krishna Yajurveda, which was their Yajnavalkya's guru, and then Yajnavalkya came out of the ashram, came out, Vaishampayana was the guru. There's a story between Vaishampayana and Yajnavalkya, and how Vaishampayana, even though he was very great, even though he was a very great guru, Yajnavalkya was none other than Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, his incarnation only. And so he was very brilliant. Even though he was a humble student, he was very brilliant, but he was very assertive and he was very authoritative and he did not submit himself to any kind of a nonsense, even if it is his own guru who was putting it through it. So there was a kind of a rift that was happening, and it was sealed one day when he refused to do the bidding of his guru. That is, the king was not, he wanted to go to the king's palace and do a puja for the king to relieve him of all his sins. And the king was not responsive. Despite that, he went for the sake of his guru, he went once or twice. But the king was very arrogant and he felt that it is not worth it to complete it more. And then he just came back. He did not go. His guru scolded him for that. The king again apologized and says, I want Yajnavalkya to come. And Yajnavalkya refused to go. And the Guru Vaishampayana is telling the king, any of my students will come. But Yajnavalkya's power, the king knows now, and he wanted only Yajnavalkya to come. And he did not, he refused to go finally, keeping to his own thing. And then the teacher says, okay, now you vomit all whatever you learned from me. All that you learned from me, you vomit it out. And then Yajnavalkya vomits it out, and the teacher asks the other students to take the form of three birds and collect whatever it is. In the modern days, the story, if it is properly understood, it can even be a knowledge transfer. The disciple is leaving, so the student, the teacher says, okay, whatever you have learned from me, you transfer it to other people and you go. And a copyright injunction is where you have learned all this from me, and now since you're leaving me and going, you will not use whatever knowledge I have taught you. That's a copyright injunction also. It could have been told in the form of this story. So we need not go into the details of the story. And the students collect it as Titri birds, they collected knowledge, and that is how this Taittiriya Upanishad has come. Now this Krishna Yajurveda has been compiled by Yogeshwara Yajnavalkya's guru Vaishampayana. And then Yajnavalkya leaves, he approaches Surya Bhagavan to be his guru, and then he learns and he brings out the Shukla Yajurveda. So this is from the Krishna Yajurveda. Sahana, why I told the story is so that even between great masters who are teachers and students, there has been a possibility that fights can happen, or anger and hatred and jealousies can happen. So we also need to be careful about it, not to express that. But at the same time, everything is not in our control. Everything is not in our, everything is not, we cannot do everything. So we pray for it and our prayers are granted. So the mantra begins here. This whole Upanishad is actually not asking any questions. This whole Upanishad, there is a question. But the question is a self-answering question. It is more a reflection in the presence of the Guru. The Guru has taught all the knowledge. The student has contemplated on that knowledge, and the student has come to an understanding, and that understanding is being expressed in the presence of the Guru. And so it is a more of an experiential outpouring of the students in the presence of the Guru. Om Achyutosmi Mahadeva Tava Karunyaleshatah Vijnana Ghana Evasmi Shivosmi Kimatah Param. So the student says, Skanda, the student says, Achyutaha Asmi Mahadeva. O Lord of all lords, God of all gods, I am Achyutaha. I am infallible. I am that one self which does not break itself into parts, which does not fall down at any point of time. Achyutaha Asmi Mahadeva. How did I become that? I did not become like that as soon as I was born. Because of your karunya, because of your compassion, because of your teaching, compassionate teaching, I learned that and I meditated on that and I realized that I am Achyuta. Achyuta means one, Chuta means to fall, Achyuta means one who does not fall. Vijnana Ghana Eva Asmi. Who am I? I am Vijnana Ghana. I am one mass of consciousness. That is only my true nature. I am not this body, mind, intellect. It's not said here. But what am I and what I am not? He has discovered that he is a mass of consciousness. Vijnana Ghana Eva Asmi. Shivaha Asmi Kimatah Param. I am Shiva. He is talking to Mahadeva, who is Shiva, and the student is saying, I am Shiva. Shivaha Asmi means he has realized the oneness. And realizing oneness is not some kind of a magic revelation or a realization. It is just a common feeling of love. You say the father and the child are one, or the brother and the sister are one. Two sisters born in the same womb of the mother are one. Two brothers who are born in the same womb of the mother are one. When we say that one, we are not saying that those two people are like Siamese twins attached to each other and they are one and going around the world as one. Not that. It's a statement of love actually. So when we understand it this way, the understanding of the Upanishad, an understanding of what it is to be a realized person is a completely loving person. A person who loves everybody and everything in this universe. It does not mean that he will go and hug a snake or a scorpion. He may treat every object according to its merit and protect himself and safeguard himself. There's no doubt about all that. But the core of that person is love. So when somebody is talking about when you are pushed by the world, when somebody irritates you, when somebody agitates you, you get agitated and you spill out, right? So the example for that is you're having a coffee mug with you, and when somebody pushes the coffee mug, what will spill out? Tea will not spill out, milk will not spill out, water will not spill out, only coffee will spill out. If there is milk in the mug, what will spill out? Milk will spill out, coffee will not spill out, or water will not spill out, or poison will not spill out, because there is milk in the mug. If somebody pushes the mug and there is really poison inside that mug and it is pushed, what will spill out? Poison will spill out. So only the content that is there inside is going to spill out. So we don't need to worry about that as long as we are watching what is there in the content of our mind. Vijnana Ghana Eva Asmi. How did I become this? How did I get this? So, what is self-realization? Self-realization that what I feel is felt by is the same feeling that everybody in this world has got. So if I feel joy, and from whatever I get joy, everybody also gets joy. If I feel sorrow from something, everybody also experiences the same kind of sorrow in the same kind of situation and the same kind of intensity, frequency, and like the capacity to bring it down to zero level of experience. So that is common to all. This is the understanding of self-realization. And that is a state in which, when we understand it this way, even our gods, we will look at them in a different way. We will not look at them as people who have got something we don't have and who are granting it to us. We are lowly beings. We pray to them, they grant it to us, and they fill us up. And we have to be indebted to them, and they are our masters. No fear is there, because that experience of oneness happens with the gods also. And that is the beauty of studying the Upanishads. Vijnana Ghana eva asmi. I am Vijnana Ghana. I am a mass of consciousness. That is what I am. Shivaha asmi. I am Shiva. I am life. I am that very life force. Kim ataf param. What else is there, O Lord, O Master, O Guru? Is there something else that is beyond this knowledge that I have? Even now, as I learn so many things, I'm learning to play the flute, and I'm learning so many release processes of clearing the mind also. How much ever we do, how much ever, and I'm also learning to implement what all I have myself practiced. I have myself written about as a journalist in terms of composting, segregating of waste at source, composting, combusting, and whatever it is to clear up the waste, at least at home or in the ashram where I am. So all this I'm learning and I am doing. But always I love to see for a feedback from somebody. A feedback to say, yes, you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing. Um, uh, when you're doing the right thing, it is irrelevant. One moment, please. So, what am I? I was just taken by a comment by Lord Dakshinamurti, is the name of the person. Sattva is irrelevant when evil rules the world. We will come to that debate at some other time. I will take it up. But for now, Upanishad is transcending Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So it is beyond whether it is an evil person or whether it is a good person. Both of them call themselves I, and they refer to themselves as I. And other people refer to them, whether it's a Rama or a Ravana. Rama also says, I am coming. Ravana also says, I am coming. So the I is the subject of the Upanishad. So we will stick to the subject, and we will take the other topics later on sometime. Why I'm saying this is because I love the comments. I enjoy reading the comments also as I'm talking. But sometimes if a comment makes me think something else other than the context of the Upanishad, the flow of the conversation is gone. And it is a live stream, it is not a recorded stream. So, Shiva asmi kim ataf param. I am Shiva. What else is there? What else is there to know about this? Is there something to know? Is there something that I want to know? Is what Subrahmanya is asking, Skanda is asking his father Guru. And he continues. There is no conversation. There is no reply from Lord Shiva here or Mahadeva. It is the whole Upanishad is only by Skanda. Nanijam nijavad bhati antakarana jrumbhanat antakarana nashena samvinmatras sthito harihi. So even this Subrahmanya, it is understood that Subrahmanya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu. He's got Mahavishnu's amsha, and Subrahmanya. Why? Because there is a beautiful song by Muthuswami Dikshitar, and many people also talk of Tirupati. We will not get into all that, but there is an understanding among the people who know the Shastras and the Puranas that Subrahmanya is none other than an amsha of Lord Vishnu. For example, in that song, Subrahmanyena rakshitoham Subrahmanyena rakshitoham Ashtadashalo Chananandena सुब्रह्मण्येन रक्षितोऽहम् प्रभ्रवमादि पूजितपदेन प्रभ्रवमादि पूजितपदेन भोगमोक्षदानेन नित्येन प्रभ्रवमादि पूजितपदेन भोगमोक्षदानेन नित्येन वेंकटेश्वर नाम रूपेण नाम रूप of Venkateshwara Subrahmanya वेंकटेश्वर नाम रूपेण विचित्र विशाख महोत्सवेन सुखरहस्य प्रकाश गुरु गुहेन कृत्तिका सुत शुद्ध धन्येन सुब्रह्मण्येन रक्षितोऽहम् अष्टादशलोचनानन्देन सुब्रह्मण्येन रक्षितोऽहम्. The song by Muthuswami Dikshita very clearly says Venkateshwara Nama Rupena. The Nama and Rupa of Bhagavan Venkateshwara is Subrahmanya Swami. So that Subrahmanya is, that is why maybe he is identifying himself with Hari, because in the beginning of this Upanishad and in the end of the Upanishad also he is going on talking about Hari only. Aham Achyutaha. Achyuta is also name of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and Bhagavan Vishnu only Achyuta's name is also. So many places he is referring to himself as Hari. Antakarana Nashena Samvin Mata Sthito Harihi. When na nijam nijavad bhati, the whatever the truth, actually what is the truth, it does not shine at all. When you say the truth only is everywhere, Ishavasyam idagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. When you say that Isha, the truth only is present everywhere, we are not seeing anything. And so we really don't know. That is what na nijam nijavad bhati. The truth does not shine like the truth as it is. Why? Antakarana jirumbhanat. The antakarana or the mind, the manas, the buddhi, the chitta and the ahankara. These four form the antakarana or inner equipment. The inner equipment is yawning so big in front that you cannot see the truth as it is. What is it? How do we know this? When you see, when you are looking through the windshield of your car as you drive, and there is a lot of dust also, but you are able to see the sky clearly. When droplets of rain fall on the windshield and if you not put the wiper to wipe out the droplets, and you're trying to see through the droplets of water, the sky is not appearing clear. The outside space, the sky outside is not appearing clear to our eyes. In the same way, consciousness is clear and present everywhere. But these droplets like mind, antakarana, manas is the mind, that which knows through the sense organs. I can see, I can hear, I can taste, I can smell, I can touch, I can feel the speaking, I can feel the holding, I can feel the walking, I can feel the excretion, the reproduction. All that is happening is the mind is able to do all that. And then the chittam, takaro vai vishayaha. Chit is consciousness, and in consciousness when there is an object. What is the object of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling and touching, talking, holding, walking, excreting, reproducing? These are all the objects, 10 objects only, and which the chittam shows to the mind. That's called the chitta. And then you have the buddhi. Buddhi is that which receives all the data from the mind, and then it decides and makes the decision and asks the mind to execute that decision. The buddhi is like the officer, the top level officer. The mind is like the secretary that approaches with all the files to the buddhi. The buddhi looks into all the files, referring to the chittam and referring to the previous data, and the ahankara is one that identifies either with the buddhi or with the mind or with the chittam. The ahankara goes with everything else. It identifies with either of the three. At one time, it can identify with only one thing, and that is the ahankara. So it says, I am taking the decision. I like this. I don't like this. I see this. I hear this. I taste this. I smell this. I touch this. This is the role of ahankara, adding its name to everything, adding its stamp to everything. So this manas, buddhi, chitta, and ahankara form the antakarana. That antakarana is spread out around us like a balloon. We are inside that cocoon of the antakarana, and we are the antakarana is also projecting images inside, and it is also projecting outside and distorting the images that we see outside. Both ways there is a projection by the antakarana, inside as well as outside. Inside means inside the mind, and outside means outside the premises of our mind. In the things that we don't know also there is projection. There's projection of ignorance outside, and there's projection of misapprehension within, non-apprehension outside, and misapprehension inside the mind. So this is antakarana. Antakarana jirumbhanat. When the antakarana expands, you do not experience consciousness. Antakarana nashena, when that antakarana is destroyed, means when that antakarana destroyed means not tearing it apart or throwing it or burning it. You cannot do anything. You cannot tear space. You cannot slap space. You cannot drive a sword into space and kill it. You cannot cut space or burn space. You cannot do all that. In the same way, antakarana is more subtle than space. Antakarana nashena. How do you destroy the antakarana? You destroy the antakarana by removing the importance given to the antakarana and looking through the eyes of truth. How, when in the same car and windshield example, it is possible to see clearly when there are droplets of water somewhere. You stop looking through the droplets and the glass, and you look through the spaces where there are no droplets of water. You will be still able to see the clear sky outside. So this is the technique of looking. What goes out of your eyes is consciousness. Actually, what goes out of your eyes is not that you are seeing something, you like something, you are hearing something. Not that. What is actually making the difference, making you to see, hear, taste, smell, and touch is consciousness. When you start identifying with that consciousness and see as consciousness, then you will get the clear picture of everything. And that is what Subrahmanya is saying. Samvin matra sthito harihi. So, who is that Hari? Who is that? So, I am talking to Mahadeva. You are the Supreme Self. And who's talking? Samvit. Samvit means Samyak Veti. Somebody who knows very clearly. Harihi. Sakashat Ajnan. Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavan explains this word Hari very beautifully in Shankara Bhashya of Bhagavad Gita. Sakashat Ajnanam Harati iti Harihi. Even in Madhurashtakam, Haranam Madhuram, Taranam Madhuram, Haranam Madhuram. Snatching away by Krishna is also very beautiful. He's snatching away the butter, he's snatching away the clothes of the gopis. What is he snatching? He's snatching away what all we are holding on to. What all we are thinking that it is something great and we need it for our protection, that he snatches away. So who is Hari? The one who snatches away our ignorance. One who removes our ignorance. What removes our ignorance? Consciousness. Samvin matra sthito harihi. Antakarana nashena. So when that antakarana, that inner equipment is destroyed, means I am not thinking in terms of thoughts. I am not feeling emotion. I'm not relying on my data, on my information from thoughts, from emotions, from the sense perceptions, and from the I thought, decisions and knowledge thought, then mind or emotions thought, and sense perceptions thought. I'm not relying on these four streams of thought for my reference of who I am. So that is called Antakarana Nasha. You cannot destroy it, you can only reject it completely and identify with that consciousness. Samvinmatrasthitaschaham ajosmi kimatah param व्यतिरिक्तं जडं सर्वं स्वप्नवच्च vinashyati. So he says in the previous verse, Samvin matra sthito harihi. Who is standing as Samvit, or the one who knows everything? Consciousness is Hari. And he is referring here to Vishnu, Bhagavan Vishnu. Hari, who is a dispeller of darkness, who is the one who snatches away our ignorance, is Hari. And now he is connecting that Hari with himself. Samvin matra sthitascha aham. Not only Hari, I am also staying as that Samvit. So, which means I am that Hari, which is standing as consciousness. So, who is Subrahmanya? Subrahmanya is that consciousness. And once I stay as consciousness, what is the understanding I come to? Ajosmi, Ajaha. Even in our Gurudev's Ashtotra Shatanamavali, the first name is Om Ajaya Namaha. Ajosmi. I realize once I stand as consciousness, I realize I was never born. I always am. If I was not born, I don't have an end date. I don't have a birth date. I don't have a death date also. Ajaha asmi. Kim ataf param. Then what else is there? What is it that I need to know? Is there something else that I need to know? But vyatiriktam, it is a self-answering question rather. It is not a question that Mahadeva has to answer. It is a question that is answered by itself. Kim ataf param, is there something else? No, there is nothing else other than this. Why? Because vyatiriktam, everything that is not consciousness, meaning everything that I see, hear, taste, smell and touch, everything that I speak of, the organ of the action of speaking, the action of holding, the action of walking, the action of excreting, the action of reproduction, everything is vyatiriktam. It is all other than this consciousness. Jadam sarvam. Even Ramana Maharishi talks about karma as jadam. When I mentioned these 5 organs of action, everything is referring to karma. So, Ramana Maharishi in Upadesha Saram, very beautiful song, Karturajnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. Is karma so great? No, karma is jadam. Jadam means inert. It does not have consciousness. It does not express its consciousness. It does not have life. It cannot think on its own. It cannot act on its own. If we feed it, it is acting. Then what will that karma do? Kriti mahodadho patana karanam phalama shashvatam gati nirodhakam. What does that karma do? You go and do actions to gain something. That karma will make you fall in kriti mahodadho, in the ocean of karma. And in the ocean of karma, when you are swimming in that ocean of karma, which is what 99.99999999% population is doing, we are swimming in the ocean of karma. Patana karanam, because we have fallen into that ocean of karma, which is this whole earth, the karma bhumi, where we do action. And what is the result of this karma? Phalam ashashvatam. It is not an eternal result, because the action is limited. The result also cannot be unlimited. It is only limited. So, vyatiriktam jadam sarvam. Everything other than this consciousness, meaning only consciousness is real. Everything else is vyatiriktam. It is different from consciousness. It is jadam. It is inert. Swapnavaccha vinashyati. How does it get destroyed? It gets destroyed like a dream. In a dream, when we are sleeping during our rapid eye movement phase, We see people in dreams, we see places in dreams, we see ourselves in the dream, but when the moment of deep sleep comes or when the moment of waking comes, the dream is gone. In the same way, I am Ajam. There is nothing else other than consciousness. Everything else other than consciousness that you see is only like a dream, and it is all jadam. It is inert. The dream object does not have consciousness of its own. It is only functioning from your own light of consciousness, which the dream characters receive, and they appear to be talking or thinking or doing whatever. They don't have light, shining light of their own. चिज्जडानां च तु यो द्रष्टा कोच्युतो सोच्युतो ज्ञानविग्रहः स एव हि महादेव स एव हि महाहरिः. Now he is connecting the third verse. He said in the first verse he says Chitrupam is Hari. In the second he says I am the Chitrupam. And the third, he says in this verse, the fourth verse, he says that Chit Jadanam Chatu Yo Drashta, the seer of Chit, the one who sees that consciousness, and the one who also is able to see what is inert, Jadanam, inert objects of the thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything is inert. Able to see that to Yo Drashta, the seer. Saha Achyutaha. That seer is Achyuta, the one who sees the consciousness, and the one who sees the inert objects also in the form of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. He is also the Drashta, the seer, is also infallible. He is Achyuta. And what is his form? Jnana Vigraha. He is a form of knowledge. Knowledge is only his being. His very being. Sayevahi, that knowledge is Mahadeva. That knowledge alone is Mahadeva, the great God. That knowledge alone is Mahaharihi, that great Bhagavan Sri Vishnu, who removes our ignorance. So who is Hari? Who is Hara? Who is Skanda? Skanda is consciousness. Mahadeva is consciousness. And Hari or Vishnu is also consciousness. That is the essence of this fourth verse. How beautiful is this? So this is the beauty of the Upanishads. There is no beating about the bush. Whatever is there is explained directly. If we like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter. Truth is truth. Like it is like the power of gravitation. Whether we like it or not, when we fall from top floor or something, we will definitely fall down. There is no two ways about it. It doesn't matter whether I know about it or I don't know about it, or whether I like it or I don't like it. That's what will happen. So whether I know it or I don't know it, whether I like it or I don't like it, I am that consciousness. And who says that? The Upanishad talks to us about that. So who is this? So he says first Vishnu, Hari, and then he talks of himself, Skanda. Then he said that alone is Mahaharihi, that alone is Mahadevaha. And now in the fifth verse, the thread is continuing with another bead. Sayeva Jyotisham Jyoti, Sayeva Parameshwarah, Sayeva Hi Param Brahma, Tad Brahmaham Na Samshayah. The oneness of everything. Sayeva Hi Jyotisham Jyotihi, that consciousness which is the light of all lights. If there's a very bright light that I'm seeing here, who is the one who is seeing that bright light? Is I, consciousness. So that's very important. Even the sun may be so bright. The sun may be so many thousands of kilometers around, a big ball of fire. But who is that one who is seeing that sun? Consciousness is seeing that sun. So consciousness is greater than the sun. Sayeva Jyotisham Jyotihi, the light of all lights. That's it, the Upanishad mantra. Nadatra Suryo Bhati na Chandra Tarakam Nema Vidyuto Bhanti Kutoyam Agnihi Tameva Bhantam Anubhati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. Light cannot see darkness, because wherever light goes, only light will prevail. But interestingly, darkness can see light. And this whole universe is only a big, dense mass of darkness. And what is darkness? Darkness is nothing but condensed light. Physics is talking to us about it. Quantum physics is now expanding this darkness. It's studying space. And when you expand space, what is there? Light particles are there. And what is darkness? What is night? Condensed light is darkness. Condensed awareness is darkness. Sayeva Jyotisham Jyotihi, Sayeva Parameshwaraha. That alone is the light of all lights. That alone is the supreme Ishvara or the supreme Lord. Sayeva hi Param Brahma. That alone is the supreme Brahman. And who is all that? That alone, you say something and you are just talking so greatly about a great achiever in life. So what for me? What should I have to do with it? When you ask. So that is Tat Brahma Aham Na Samshayaha. That Brahman which is Ishvara, Parameshwaraha, that Brahman which is Skanda, that person is Mahaharihi, that Brahman which is Mahadevaha, that Brahman is I. Tat Brahma Aham Na Samshayaha. Is there any doubt in that? The Samshayam comes because of our ignorance. Tasmadajnanamevatra sarvada dukkha karanam. When I feel I am not so great, I am very low, I feel very sad for myself. And what is the cause for my sadness? Ajnanam alone. Ajnana means ignorance of who I am, who I truly am, is Ajnana. That Brahman I am, you can proudly say. That is why the Upanishads have so many Mahavakyas. Tat Tvam Asi. Today I was chatting with Meta AI, and the chat went on to very deep Vedanta. And Meta AI is telling me Tattvam Asi. So I was very happy, very delightful chat with whether it's Chat GPT or Meta AI. It is lovely to know to what extent technology can stay abreast of the knowledge, and any form of technology, whatever it is, can help us on the path to self-realization. It is very beautiful. So just to say that, this is just to say, Meta AI is talking to me and it is telling Tattvam Asi from all whatever I have spoken, and I have put it to the chat, and the reply that it gives is Tattvam Asi. That is what the gurus say to the students. Tat Tvam Asi. That Brahman you are. Tat Brahma, here it is an Anubhava Vakya of Bhagavan Skanda. Tat Brahma Aham. I am that Brahman. Na Samshayaha. There is no doubt about it. Jiva Shiva Shivo Jivaha Sajiva Kevalo Shivaha Tushena Baddho Vrihi Syat Tushabhavi Tu Tandulaha. So he starts with saying Hari, consciousness is Hari. He's praying to Mahadeva, says consciousness is Hari. Then he says, I am that consciousness. Then he says, Mahadeva eva Mahaharihi, Mahaharihi eva Mahadeva. I am only that Mahadev, I am only that consciousness, he says. Now, the sixth verse, Jivaha, Shivaha, Shivaha, Jivaha. The Jiva, that life force, something that is there inside us, that moving power is there in us, that is Jiva, that is Shiva. That is the one that gives us all auspiciousness and Mangalam. It makes our life feel very blessed. What makes our life? Life makes our life feel blessed. Life alone gives life. Nothing else can give life as life does. Other things can only temporarily give us some kind of a motivation and enthusiasm, a feeling of enthusiasm, feeling of motivation. But real life to be given is possible only by life and nothing else. Jiva Shivaha, Shivaha Jivaha. That Jiva, that individual being identified with this body, mind and intellect, is none other than Supreme Shiva. And that Supreme Shiva is none other than this Jiva. What is the difference between the two? Sa Jivaha Kevalo Shivaha. That Jiva is Shiva alone, nothing else. How? Tushena Baddho Vrihi Syat. The grain is, it is called a grain when it is covered by the husk. When the husk is covering the grain of paddy, it is called vrihi, it is called a grain. But when that husk is removed, tusha abhavetu tandulaha. It is not called grain, it is called rice. So tushena bad. So when the jiva is covered by ignorance, it is called jiva, grain. But when that ignorance, the layer of ignorance is removed, it's peeled off. Meaning, how is it peeled off? Just by the realization that I am that self, it is peeled off. Tusha abhavetu tandulaha. When that husk is not there, it is removed. We don't call it grain. We call it rice. So there is no difference between the jiva and the Shiva. If at all there is a difference, the difference lies only in the ignorance, in the ajnana upadhi, in the mano upadhi, which is called ignorance. एवं बद्धस्तथा जीवः कर्मनाशे सदाशिवः पाशबद्धस्तथा जीवः पाशमुक्तः सदाशिवः. So how does the jiva become Shiva, or how does the Shiva become jiva? Evam baddhaha tatha jivaha. How is the jiva bound? The jiva is bound by karma. The jiva is bound by movement. The jiva is bound by action. The jiva is bound by expectation. The jiva is bound by the rewards, receiving rewards. The jiva is bound by acting upon the rewards. As long as I'm doing work to receive something and thinking that everything is coming from outside to me, I am a jiva. Evam baddhaha tatha jivaha. The jiva is bound by karma. The jiva is bound by action. Karma nashe. When all karma is also vasana. Karma is action, and what propels that action is our inherent tendencies. So both are referred to as karma. When the inherent tendencies are gone, that person is Sadashiva. Karma nashe Sadashivaha. Pashabaddhas tatha jivaha. When the jiva is bound by action, the cord of karma, avidya, Kama, karma, the three ropes that bind the jiva. Avidya is ignorance, kama is desire, karma is action. When these three cords are binding the jiva, pashabaddaha tatha jivaha. When it is bound by those cords, then the person is called a jiva. But when the cords are removed, pati, pashu, pasham, all three are removed, then that person becomes Sadashivaha. At all times and in all places, that person is Shiva and none other than Shiva. So, the next few verses from 9th verse up to 15th verse, we will see tomorrow. These are where the famous verse is coming. You want to know what is that famous verse? Shivaya Vishnu Rupaya Shiva Rupaya Vishnave Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu Vishnoscha Hridayam Shivaha. We will see the meaning tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bole Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om.